Are you aware of how many businesses get started divorced from doing their market viability stress tests? The absence of doing the market viability stress tests can be the factor that undermines you from being successful in business. Because in the first place, you do not know how viable your market is. Now, this is the reasons why we have developed the ideal client stress test, because the ideal client stress test ladder really go deep into this analysis to ensure that you, as a rising star or a star in business, you have a clear mental picture of what you're getting into.
When you become an influencer, it gives you the edge that separates you from the competition. The GIP initiative, the Global Influencers Partners Program, is designed to expose you to over 5 billion potential consumers across the world. When you are a rising star in business and you need visibility, reach, impact, client conversion, and cash flow optimization, positioning yourself to become a global influencer may be the ideal tool that you need in your arsenal to win in business. I encourage you to join the GIP initiative and position your business to build confidence, trust, and credibility and cash flow optimize the fastest.
In my last broadcast, I identified a number of techniques that you can use to identify the market viability. For example, we look at the importance of knowing your market size, your market density, and the market dispersion. We also highlighted the importance of being able to do your SWOT analysis and your PES analysis. Today, I want us to look at market viability in the context of the SWOT analysis, SWOT. Now, the S in the SWOT stands for strengths. The W in the SWOT stands for weaknesses. The O in the SWOT stands for opportunity. And the T in the SWOT stands for threat. And as a rising star or star in business, it is important for you to understand all of these factors that are influencing the viability of your market. I want us to go a little deeper into the S in the SWOT that stands for strengths. As we look at strengths that you want to possess when you're going into business, you want to be certain that you are in a strong financial position. And I will go deeper into this as we go into today's program. You want to ensure that you have the technological competitive advantage. This is another strength that you want to focus on. You want to be certain that you have market differentiation and perhaps a unique patent. You want to be certain that you have a skilled workforce. And you want to be certain that you have a strong brand image and strong brand reputation. These are just some of the strengths that you want to be certain that you have, because this is what's ultimately going to lead to a loyal customer base. This is another strength that you want to have. I want to examine this from a real world context. But before I examine this, begin this examination, I want you to ask yourself, what strengths do you have to leverage with a viable market? And I want you to pause. I want you to reflect on all of the strengths that I've mentioned above. And I want you to ask yourself which one or which group associates with you. In fact, all of those things that I've just spoken about would be good for you to adopt as you build your business up, your brand up, to capitalize on market opportunities. And let me go into this. The question is, what strength do you have to leverage a viable market? And let me go into this. In the US market today, there is high demand for housing, but then there is low supply. The demand for housing stands above 4 million persons that are demanding housing accommodations, but then there's limited supply. What is that saying to you? Now, let us break this down in a financial term and to really help you to see the viability of what I'm saying here. So we have 4 million home shortage at the lowest income level representing 96 billion in annual revenue. And I want to repeat this because I want you to see the viability here. In the US alone, we see that we have a high demand for housing, low supply. We have about 4 million families that are unable to occupy their homes because there's low supply. And at the lowest income threshold, if all of those housing needs are to be filled today, it represents 96 billion US dollars at the lowest level. Now, if we start to think about luxury apartments and all of those different things, the annual income threshold is going to go up significantly. So at 96 billion US dollars, it is clearly showing that you have a viable market. But let me show you some challenges here. The fact that there is a viable market doesn't mean that it is viable to you based on all the strengths that I've talked about early on. Market viability plus market opportunity minus strong financial position is an opportunity loss, not an opportunity cost. And you need to be aware of it. Even in the US today, where many persons in business don't understand the financial market, and even in the Caribbean, in Guyana, we see there are tremendous opportunities that are unfolding, but they are a tremendous lack of access to capital. Many businesses don't have this strength as you do your SWOT analysis. It is not an opportunity cost. It becomes an opportunity loss. What I'm going to do, I'm going to examine further exactly what being in a strong financial position should represent, because this is a strength that you want to have as a rising star or star in business, because divorced from this, you're going to be seeing a whole lot of opportunity lost instead of the opportunity cost. So when we are talking about your business being in a strong financial position, several things must come to mind. One, do you have a cash reserve? It is important to have a cash reserve. In the absence of having a cash reserve, you want to seriously ask yourself, do you or are you in a strong financial position? And there's a number of things that you can do to have a cash reserve. Now, the reality is that what we see is that many persons attempt to put themselves in that strong financial position when it's too late. The best time to position yourself, the best time to position your business to access capital is when you don't want it. You don't wait until you need it and then you start trying to figure things out. But as I go deeper into this program today, you will understand much clearer what I'm saying. So you want to have a cash reserve. Next, you want to start looking at what we call an equity leverage. Now, equity leverage can come in many forms. For example, do you have personal assets or family assets that you can leverage? You can perhaps take out the equity in the asset. We call it a HELOC, home equity line of credit, or we call it a BLOC, a business equity line of credit. That kind of equity leverage can position you to access the capital that you need to capitalize on the opportunities that exist, which is going to really position you to better up-level your products and services in a way to make it viable. So do you have that type of leverage? Now, equity leverage can also come in the form of your negotiation skills, because the possibility exists that you may have a strong product or strong service, you have a strong brand, you have a fair degree of reputation, and you're now able to negotiate for funding simply based on the fact that you have a strong brand, you are fully aware of what you're doing, you have some degree of visibility to reach an impact, you have some credibility in the market, and you're now able to leverage that to your advantage. In fact, there's a number of rising stars that we work with where we go in, we assess the strength of your operation, we invest to help you to get visibility to reach an impact and client conversion, cash flow optimization, so as to position you to capitalize on the opportunity to enhance the opportunity to raise the viability standard of your business. We do that. That's another option for you to consider. Now, these are strengths that you really want to pause and think seriously about it, because we're seeing across the world, opportunities may present itself. A viable market may be right before you, but the inability to be in that strong financial position is going to undermine the opportunity.
Pitch Deck 101 LLC, out of New York, do more than just support our clients to pitch their businesses to investors and access working capital at 0% APR. We also support our clients to grow and scale their businesses faster and cash flow optimize. Pitch Deck 101 LLC recent partnership with 10X Branding Marketing LLC and Global Capital Inc. out of the USA has enabled us to form unique partnership with multiple financial institutions, which means we can do even more to accelerate the success of our clients. Let Pitch Deck 101 LLC give you the support you need to pitch to investors, access capital, access new markets, and grow and scale your business. Contact us now on 332-235-1099 for a free consultation.
It becomes an opportunity loss. There are other things for you to consider, strengths that you need to ensure that you are mastering. For example, do you have a strong business fundability? Again, I keep saying many businesses wait until you need funding and then to start checking your fundability factors. And there's a number of things that you need to consider when we're talking about your business fundability. For example, some of the basic things that we start with is, does your business has a PAYDEX score? In the US, your business should have a PAYDEX score. That is divorced from your identity. The business has a legal identity. So it makes sense to ensure that you make that legal identity fundable. So it begins by understanding the PAYDEX score and how to build up the PAYDEX score. And there's a lot for us to unpack here, because there are specific approaches and specific steps and strategies that you need to use to not only ensure that the business has its PAYDEX score, but that the PAYDEX score is built up in such a way that every financial institution wants to do business with you. In this case, your FICO score is only being used to give a PG, which we call a personal guarantee to that business. So what shows up in the business never shows up on the FICO, and you do everything practically possible to maintain a healthy FICO score, because undermining the FICO score can damage your credit report. Are you in this strong position where you are leveraging all of this data to ensure that the business is fundable? And again, that process should start. That process should start long before you start thinking about accessing capital. In the US, you need the right team of consultants behind you that is going to be able to give you the right information to make the best decision when it comes to growing and building a strong brand. There's some other concepts for us to consider. The ability to negotiate and influence interest rates. But I'm going to come back to that just now. I want you to pause and I want you to think about that a little bit. Let's look at this one. Do you understand and do you have easy access to capital market? Do you understand capital markets? And do you have easy access to capital market? These are important position of strength, financial position of strength that you want to be in, because opportunities are going to present itself, but because you don't have the strength of having access to capital, instead of it being an opportunity cost, it is an opportunity loss, because you don't have these strengths built into your business model. Do you understand capital markets? And do you have easy access to capital markets? If not, why not? And if you don't, it makes sense to get the right consultant on your side to really help you to unpack this body of knowledge and leverage this body of knowledge to ensure that you have the strength to leverage, to ensure that you indeed have a viable market that you are ready to access. So let me unpack this part a little bit. When we talk about understanding capital market, we're talking about several things. One, it's about you understanding the composition of financial markets. And there are many persons who may get into business and they may struggle to access capital simply because you don't understand the financial market and you have haven't yet built out relationships with the critical stakeholders that can help you mitigate this challenge. The capital market comprises of debt and equity. It comprises of equity, debt, equity, credit, and creative financing and hard money lending. So there is really no shortage of capital, but your ill awareness, your unawareness of what is available, how the market is structured, simply bars you from accessing an opportunity. So you want to make this your strength where you understand the capital market, or you at least have an expert on your side that understands how the capital market operates. Now, let's talk a little bit about how it operates, because it is not enough to know what is available. When we talk of capital market, we're talking about capital market from 4 different perspectives. What exists, how to access that capital market, because your ability now to access the capital market will depend on some of the things that I spoke about earlier. Do you have a fundable business? Do you know how to nurture a fundable business? All of these things that needs to be looked at. You need to ensure that you have your FICO score is above 680. If you're going to be doing that PG, you need to be certain that you have that PAYDEX score, because businesses that are going to be funding you, they're not going to be putting the fund in your name. The business has to be a range of different things must be carefully considered. Now, I'm not going to go into everything today, but when you come into our master program, we're going to give you all of this information, or talk to your consultant and let them prepare you for this. So you want to know capital market that exists. You want to know how to access. And most importantly, when we are talking about capital markets and when we're talking about business and market viability, it's about you understanding to how to leverage capital in the right way. Because access to capital doesn't mean that you have the right information to leverage. You're not leveraging the right way because you are not doing the market stress test the way you ought to be doing it. And last but not least is how to mitigate financial markets. And that brings me back to the point that I started to talk about and I refrained. So I'm going to come back to that now. And that we look at your ability to negotiate and influence interest rates. Are you in this position of strength? And the reason I'm going to go into this, because your ability to negotiate and influence interest rate puts you in a tremendous position of strength when it comes to creating a more viable market. Because the fact that you are now able to reduce the cost of capital, it may give you the edge that you need to innovate products and services at a lower cost. And the ability to innovate products and services at a lower cost means that you can transfer the cost reduction to the consumer, which makes your quality products and service a little bit more appealing to the ideal client. And that, in a sense, is going to give you perhaps the price competitive advantage. Of course, not all businesses are going for the price competitive advantage, but it puts you in that competitive advantage. It gives you that edge. But do you understand how to create this type of environment where you are now able to negotiate and influence interest rate? Now, this can be done mainly by using 2 approaches. The first approach is that there are many financial institutions where you would have built a healthy relationship with that are open to negotiation. Now, in the Caribbean, I have been interfacing with many bankers that often say to me, hey, if you bring your portfolio here, you're likely to be able to, we can negotiate with you. And that is music to your ears, because you have developed that relationship. You are now given an opportunity to access capital at a more competitive rate. And this only happened because you have established a healthy track record that tells the investors that you are a low risk personality. And because of the low risk, they can take that chance and with you. But are you able to negotiate this, whether you have an established portfolio or not? So you have that option available to you. Are you in this strength? Which means that if you're in this strength, when you see an opportunity present itself, because you have the relationship, capital, access to capital is not a problem because you established that relationship. It's not an opportunity lost. It is an opportunity cost. Think about this. The alternative to this option is that you need to understand, again, how financial market work. There's a concept that we call the amortization schedule. And if you understand enough about it, working with an expert, you are able to influence your interest rate. You're able to negotiate this. And I'm saying this based on the fact that whether you have the full support of the financial institution, where they are sitting with you and and saying that we are willing to negotiate with you or not. The knowledge base is what enables you to leverage these options that are available to you. But do you have this type of consultant on your side that is really helping you to optimize the financial position that you can be in when it comes to building a more viable business? If not, why not? Now, these are some of the things that we do at our operation, and we're happy to engage with you. But I trust that what we have examined today is an eye-opener, because opportunities may exist, as I clearly pointed out, in the US and in the Caribbean. In the US today, we have a tremendous demand for housing, but we have an undersupply. We have a 4 million housing gap that represents $96 billion at the lowest income threshold. That's a viable market. It's a viable market. In spite of it being a viable market, your inability to access capital and up-level capital in the wrong way, it's an opportunity lost, because you cannot capitalize on it, because your business is not in that financial position and strength to leverage and tap into these opportunities. The same principle applies to some Caribbean countries. And Guyana is the fastest growing country in the world, but access to capital seems to be a major challenge that is affecting many businesses that are seeing the opportunities, but they're not in that strategic position of strength. As we do the SWOT analysis, as we analyze the S in the SWOT, the strengths, financial position, they just don't have it. And that's a challenge. It's a challenge. So I trust that you would have enjoyed today's program. And I just want to emphasize, I want to encourage you to like, subscribe, and share, so you would be the first to get these content that we're bringing to you on a regular basis. And in the event that you need more information, I do encourage you to reach out to us. Now, I must emphasize this. The information that I'm presenting to you today is being presented from a thesis that we have developed that is titled The Ideal Client Stress Test Ladder. This, combined with the client conversion ladder, is very essential to moving your business forward, because one of the things that we emphasize is that you need to take guess and speculation out of doing business. What the Ideal Client Stress Test Ladder allows you to do is to get a close-up and personal relationship with data that is going to be helping you to make informed and highly educated decision about how you do business. So your stress level becomes lower, sleepless nights become lower, the loss of capital, the risk of losing capital becomes lower, because you have all of the information in front of you. Today, we look at market viability in the context of the SWOT analysis, and I explain what the SWOT is. The S stands for strength, the W in the SWOT stands for weaknesses, the O in the SWOT stands for opportunity, and the T in the threats in the SWOT stands for threats. And I would have explained that as a rising star in business, as you want to look at market viability, you want to predetermine these factors. Understanding all of this is very significant. Today, we put more attention was focused on strengths, and we went deep into financial strength of your businesses. Over the next few days and few weeks, we will continue to examine the entire SWOT analysis in the context of looking at your market viability. So I trust that you would have enjoyed. Again, see you soon.
Elevate your business with 10X Branding and Marketing LLC. Our expert team specializes in enhancing your brand's visibility and connecting you with your ideal clients. We employ strategies that increase reach, leaving a lasting impact and driving client conversion. Trust and credibility are vital in businesses, and excel in building them even with a limited budget. Our cost-effective approaches ensure you get the best results without overspending. Ready to boost your business cash flow? Contact us at 332-235-T99 and let 10X Branding and Marketing LLC guide you to success. Our focus is on elevating your visibility, which directly translates to growth. Experience the power of effective branding and marketing with us and witness your business thrive.